I want to share with you guys one of the blends that when I started with Young Living was my absolute least favorite, and that is DiGize. If you have not smelled DiGize before, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about it, and I'm going to tell you why I think you should get it, even though it wasn't my favorite one. So DiGize is actually a blend of tarragon, ginger, peppermint, juniper, lemongrass, anise, and patchouli. It has a very strong licorice smell to it. So when you first open the bottle of DiGize, I want to encourage you, hold it out further. Don't put it right in your face immediately. Hold it out further and actually slowly introduce it to your nose vicinity before you smell it. If you grab your lavender and you open it up and you take a big huff of lavender, you're going to be like, oh, it smells like lavender. It's great. If you do that with the DiGize, you're probably going to be like, whoa, that's a lot of licorice and other really strong scents in there that are being mixed together. And I don't like that because that was my initial reaction with that. So I just want to encourage you, if you are new to oils and you're trying them out for the first time and you're doing a lot of ditch and switch and you're swapping some things out, you might have a higher toxic chemical load within your body, and there are certain oils that are going to help you purge that, and they might be very aggressive. Or if you have a lot of digestive issues, which is one of the things that when I came to Young Living, I had a lot of digestive unwellness, and I had lived so long in that state that my body was compensating. And to get myself back into wellness and bring myself back into balance, it was actually kind of painful in the beginning to change and get back into a state of wellness because my body was so used to living this way that it just adapted. And that's one of the good things about humans is our bodies are adaptable, but when we go into wellness, sometimes there's a transition and it's not quite the greatest thing. So over time, as I started doing cleanses and I started ditching and switching things out of my home, I went from DiGize being something that was really repulsive to me that now when I smell it, I feel like my entire body just sighs and goes, oh yes, this is what we want. So I use DiGize topically to help with digestive help and immune system help because it's a great one for the digestive system. It's very, very good at helping to clear out bad things from your small and large intestines and to just help your digestive system to be working at its absolute best. Actually, smelling DiGize stimulates your brain to send enzymes to your stomach. Patchouli that's in the blend will go through and eat the bad bacteria that you find in your intestines so that you are producing less gas and you are not as upset after you eat certain foods. So it's a great one to take the DiGize Vitality, put it into capsules, have it before a meal. If you're going out to a brand new restaurant, one of the things I tell people to do is do a capsule of your DiGize before you go out to a new restaurant, before you try the new foods or you try like a new style of food, so that your digestive system works in harmony with your body thanks to DiGize and helps you digest all of the food that you're consuming that might be new. It might be something that's different. So bring it with when you travel, bring it with when you go to a new restaurant. You can take the classic and put it on your stomach, put it in your belly button, put it on your feet over the digestive part and just help keep your digestive system in tune and balanced and working at its absolute best. When you are not feeling good and you're using your thieves, use your DiGize in tandem because it's going to help with anything in your immune system that might be influencing your digestive system and causing that to be just out of wellness. There is a supplement that Young Living used to have, and it's been on a stock for a while, called Digest and Cleanse. And if you take a capsule and you do 4 drops, you can double this if you want to or triple this, but if you do 4 drops of DiGize, 2 drops of lemon, and 2 drops of the Caraway Vitality oils in a capsule with some B6, or if you want to double that, if you need it to be a little bit stronger, you can use that blend as an alternative to digest and cleanse and have it on hand. And digest and cleanse is an absolute must have if your stomach gets upset when you eat certain foods, or if you find yourself really gassy, or if something else is going that is not the greatest with your digestive system. Another thing that I use DiGize for, because DiGize is in our fruit and veggie wash that Young Living has, that they use fruit and veggie wash, it helps to break down petrochemicals and just clean up your fruits and everything. So one of the things that I started using was the fruit and veggie wash in our washer and dryer. And I noticed that I really liked the smell. So I started diffusing purification and DiGize, and I'll do equal amounts of the two of them, and I'll diffuse it in a room, and it is like better than any Febreze that you'll ever have in your entire life. I don't know what it is with the combination of purification and DiGize, but I totally copied it from the fruit and veggie wash, and it will clean out an entire room and completely make it smell neutral and fresh and clean. One of my girlfriends, when I told her that I like to diffuse DiGize, and that's probably like a weird thing, she's like, I diffuse it with Citrus Fresh, and it is the most amazing experience ever. So I want to encourage you, if you're just using DiGize topically, or you're just using the DiGize Vitality in your capsules, or adding it in to your Ningxia and stuff, try it in the diffuser, try it with some different blends. I don't know if I do anything florally, but try it with purification, try it with Citrus Fresh, see what your experience is, and let us know how you are liking diffusing DiGize. Bonnie and Kara, how do you guys use DiGize?
I'm like Sarah, when I think DiGize smells vile most of the time. I am a person who does not have much digestive issues, but I'm telling you, if I ever smell DiGize and I think it smells good, I put it on my stomach because I figure I'm needing it because I'm thinking it smells good. Most people who have digestive issues actually think it smells pretty good. And so that's kind of my clue to myself, like, oh, maybe I need, need a little digestive help. It is one of those ones that when you need it, oh my gosh, there is nothing better in the world. I have at different times woken up and had like a horribly upset stomach, like from gas, something I ate or whatever. And it like so painful, you guys. And I run and get my DiGize, put it on my stomach really quick. And I kid you not, within a minute or two, it totally like takes care of it. And I've been in situations pre-oils like that where I was like in misery for hours and hours. So it is really powerful. I have a really fun story with DiGize. So early on, I was doing a lot of horsemanship shows, and we would have a booth at these horsemanship shows, and people would come into the booth and we'd share oils and stuff. And we were at this one show, and this woman ran in, and she runs up to our booth, and she said, do you have anything? My husband is vomiting out in the parking lot. And so we gave her a bottle of DiGize and said, just bring it back whenever. So about 20 minutes later, this man comes in with our bottle of DiGize, and he's like recovering, and he said, oh my gosh, thank you so much. He said, I don't know what hit me, but something hit me, and all of a sudden I just started projectile vomiting in the parking lot. And my wife brought me this stuff and told me to put it all over my stomach. And he said, immediately I started feeling better, and I stopped vomiting, and I was able to recover. And now I'm here at the show. And so that was like an early on thing for me. Like, I was very new to oils, and I was going, whoa, this is powerful stuff. Even though I thought it smelled terrible, it was like, there's some real good uses for this one. The other thing about DiGize too is you can use this as something that you put on your horse's feed. And if you use it like daily, it can be like a natural dewormer, because it's so it like goes in and takes care of the parasites and stuff like that. It can be a natural dewormer. It's one of those things you put a few drops every day. It's not just a one-time thing, but kind of an everyday thing. And yeah, and also for horses, you absolutely have to have DiGize in your barn. Because if you have horses, I guarantee that there's going to be an episode in your horse's life that they colic. And colic is so dangerous for horses. And I'm telling you, DiGize, get a little bit of DiGize on their stomach. If you can open their lip and pour a little bit of DiGize in, it can stop colic like really quickly. Still call your vet. Don't but in the meantime, get your DiGize out and start using it. It's a very powerful oil to use with your horses. And then the other thing that you can use DiGize for with your horses, and maybe other things too, but I know that there have been times over the last several years where people have gotten concerned about their hay, the hay that they buy for their horses' feed, of it being polluted with chemicals. Different chemicals got sprayed on it for whatever reason. There was that was kind of a big deal about 2 or 3 years ago. And you do want to try to get as clean a hay, like not like chemically sprayed hay, as you can. But if you find yourself in a pinch and you found that you know that your hay has been a little bit polluted, you can actually use DiGize, and like you can put it in like a garden sprayer and mix it with water and kind of spray it over your hay, and it actually it gets rid of some of those chemicals. And it does the same thing for soil. If you've got polluted soil and you're trying to grow vegetables or something like that, you can actually spray down your soil, and I don't know, I'm not using the right word, but recondition your soil and make it healthier again. So those are just some different things to use DiGize for.
Okay, I'm going to tell you guys my personal story of DiGize. Like Sarah, when this was in my first kit, I'm like, I'm never using this. This thing stinks. And every time, like I would teach a class and I pass around, I have my friend talk about it. I'm like, this smells like kids from sports and their sweaty armpits or something. And so I never use it. And I don't feel like I had digestive issues. And let's fast forward like 2 years from when I first got my kit. I mean, honestly, you guys, like sometimes it takes you a long time to try these oils, right? And I remember, so I usually was carrying all my starter kit oils with me because you never know what you might need, right? Because they're the 10 most used oils. And I was down in Florida on a vacation, and you eat out a lot when you're on vacation. And I'm like, man, my stomach just doesn't feel right. Probably because we eat a lot of junk. And I'm like, okay, I know I don't like the smell of this thing at all, but people have been talking about putting it in their water. And I'm like, oh, fine, I'm just going to go for it and put it in my water. And I put it in my water, and I was like, I love this. This tastes amazing. And I call my friend, I'm like, you're not going to believe this, because I would never talk about this one, because I'm like, it stinks. And I'm like, so when people talk about there's different ways, whether you're diffusing or putting it on topical or taking it internal, there may be a way that works better for you. And when I tried it in my water, I'm like, this is awesome. I mean, I like the taste of black licorice. And so it's like black licorice, pepperminty. I'm like, wow, this tastes really good. And it does what it needs to do. And so that was a lesson for me that I really learned. You may like the taste of it in your water. And so I find, like, when I tend to travel, if I'm going out to eat, I may just put a drop of that in my water and drink it. One, I like the taste of it, but I know as I'm going out to eat, it's going to help my digestive system. There was something else I wanted to say with DiGize too. Now I'm forgetting. I think that's the main thing is I just want to say with it is that just try it because it's going to do good things. I remember what I wanted to say. I had a family member that was in the hospital, and a lot of times they don't let you leave the hospital until the person's had a bowel movement, right? So if you ever find you have a family member in that situation, guess what? Couple drops under the tongue in about an hour, they'll have that and they're going to be able to be discharged from the hospital. So if you need a little extra support with that, that is a great thing that is super helpful that you can do. So that's my experience with DiGize.